Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of my devlog. As you can see, we're standing among the houses in the little village that we built last episode. We built the majority of these houses exteriors and the interiors as well. So currently it is the holiday season, and I've been visiting family and traveling and generally trying to be a bit more relaxed and not put a lot of work outside of my daytime job, which means I haven't gotten a lot of work done on the game during the Christmas or the holiday season. As you can see, one thing I have added, however, is a transparency effect to the buildings, so you can see where the road is, where you can walk. Unfortunately, there's it's just making the whole thing transparent, so this effect looks a little weird right now. I don't actually know how to make it not look weird. Like, I don't want the person to be able to see into the building, but I do want them to have a clear understanding of where they can walk and where they can't walk. So I'm going to have to keep doing a bit of head scratching over this one to figure out just how I can make this transparency effect work properly. But at least it gives the player a view of what they're seeing behind them, and it's implemented in a pretty easy just drag and drop method behind the scenes. So that's one thing I've added, but I have also primarily worked on adding trees. So as you can see right here, we've got a tree. And I think it looks pretty good, actually. When it comes to pieces of artwork like this, my mentality nowadays is just Google pixel art tree top down or something like that and see what comes up, and then I try to draw something fairly similar to this. I talked about this and why this isn't a bad practice in my video where I make this ground texture, specifically the water texture right here. And essentially, I feel good about doing this, just Googling and then trying to copy as much as possible what's already been made, because what's been made is really good. And if I'm just getting practice drawing something very similar, it will have my own unique twist to it, it will have my own color palette, it's going to be different, but I will be learning from professionals who've been doing this for a long time, and I will be drawing in a style that I actually like. If I like a tree on the internet, then drawing in that style isn't a bad thing, it's a perfectly good thing. So that's what I've done here. I found a tree that I liked and drew something similar. It's different enough that it feels like it's not my own personal thing, but it is similar enough that I actually like it. And then I kind of just added a bunch of other trees to fill out the forest. So if we come up here, you will see what I'm talking about. We've got a few different trees. I've added some stumps, different shading or a different color palette for some of these, sort of on the bluer end here, and then this fir tree or whatever right here. I need to know the actual names of these trees, but it's just a generic evergreen tree right here, which I really like the look of. And I was going to draw more, but I was struggling to really make it work. And I feel like this is enough for my the game as it is right now. One thing I also tried is I wanted to have a thick canopy of leaves out here, but just adding a million trees made it impossible to walk through here, and this transparency effect wasn't doing it to be able to make the player see where they're going and not run into constant branches or stumps. It was a headache, and it looked cluttered, it wasn't great. And so I've downgraded the number of trees drastically to what you see right here, and I think this works really well. It feels like a forest, but it also feels very navigable, or whatever the word is. And I'm going to keep it like this. I also don't have a huge variety of trees, so why is this tree still transparent? Okay, that's weird. Clearly there's still a few bugs to work out, and I actually think I know why that's happening. But I think this looks good. I think this works, and I'm going to leave it as it is. It also makes it feel nice and cozy coming up to here, coming up to this house. This really feels like it's in the middle of the woods, like time has forgotten it. I need to add some leaves or some grass sticking up around the bottom to really blend it into the environment. But this house now feels cloistered in the forest as I intended. I also changed the background to match this color here. I'm going to expand this and add trees out here and then just add an invisible force field for the demo, just so that it looks like the forest continues. But at least the background isn't a dark blue anymore. So that's essentially it for this sprint. Again, another very light art-centric load. But I want to talk, before I end here, a little bit about the end of the year. As you can, if you look at the calendar, if you're watching this as I release it, there's not a lot of time left in the year. In fact, I only have one sprint left before the new year. Now, I'm going to have a bunch of changes in how I'm going to be developing and how I'm going to be releasing these videos in the new year, which I'm going to talk about hopefully in the next episode or at the beginning of the year. But for this one, I want to close out with how we're going to end this year. As I've said, I want to get an actual playable ready by the end of the year or at the end of the year, and so I've got a few things more I need to do. I need to add more NPCs, which is going to be more art. I need to add an interior to this building right here, as you can see, as well as the church, or make them locked or something if I'm running out of time. And then I need to add quests and put items around the place and generally make it something that can actually be played. That's not a lot, honestly, so there's nothing particularly new coding-wise that I can think of. Everything is in place. All the game mechanics that I want for this year are ready to go. I just need to add a bit of art and add a bit of story to it, a bunch of dragging and dropping. Once I've done that, I'm going to give this playable to friends and family, anyone who's interested, anyone who I'm in close contact with and wants to play around with it. At the end of the year. However, I'm also thinking that I'm going to upload this to itch.io. If you don't know, itch.io is an easy place for things like this, small little games to be just published for free that anyone can download and play around with. So once I do upload that, and that should be at the end of the year, I'm going to leave a link in the description in the video that I announce it being up. So either the next video or the video at the beginning of the year. And so you can actually play around with this tech demo as well and give me feedback. Either in the comments section, I may open up some other way to give feedback, probably just in the comments section, honestly. And feel free to say whatever you want. Again, we're still a few weeks out away from that, but I feel very confident that I can get this put together by the end of the year. And so you will be able to play with this very, very soon. Either way, that's going to do it for this devlog. If you liked this video or found it interesting, please leave it a like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.